Hi everyone, so we're in Module 5 now, and we're going to be looking at the 3-view template here, so this first assignment here. I'm going to download this template. If you've not already opened this up here, I would open up this paper, and I have this printed off for you in class. But this here, we're going to be drawing our orthographic views, again, our front, our right, and our top view of this object here. And I'm going to go over this with you here in class. So I'm going to start by downloading this template right here. So this 3-view template, and make sure this downloads. And once it downloads here, you can open it up inside of AutoCAD. All right, over here on the left, you have a JPEG, an image of what this part looks like again. So you can reference it here, or you can reference it back on your paper. We're going to be drawing our object inside of this pink area here. This here is our viewport. So when I talk about viewport, I go back to my layers here, or back to my layout. This area is my viewport. So anything I draw inside of that square there, or that rectangle, will pop up over there in my layout. And you can see I'll open up here another example, or I'll show you here on Canvas actually what we're going to be doing. But if I go back here, and we are in Module 5, so let me open up Module 5 here for a second. Keep on. All right, we are on Module 5. Sorry, everyone, this takes a second. Module 5, learn. Okay, and then I have my example page here, so I can open this up in a new tab. This pops up, but this is an example of what our final design should look like that you're going to be submitting. And this is printed on AutoCAD in layout view right there. And notice I have example on the back here. You can see our hidden lines. These are hidden lines. You can see our center lines here, and a weird hidden line right here representing this chamfer up here. And this is a center mark representing that radius right there. Okay, so back onto AutoCAD here. I'm going to start by referencing the length of this object. So we're going to start with our front view. So if I look at this object here, the length is 2 inches, or 2 inches, yes. Okay, escape, L space, okay, and I'm going to turn on my ortho mode here. So if you don't have that turned on, I would turn that on, ortho mode, and I'll turn on some of my object snaps too. So L space, I'm drawing over right now, and I want to draw this over 2 space, 2 enter. Then I'm going to go up here on the side. I can see up 0.75, and then I'm going to go back over 0.75 space, and back over, and that distance there is going to be 0.9 space. Okay, I'll escape. Now I'm going to go up here from the corner, L space, and I'm going to go up 1.25 space. And then I can go over to the right here. I know that distance is going to be 0.75, enter. And then I can simply finish it off here. This diagonal right there locks on with my object snap. Cool. All right, so this here is basically my front view. We're not going to show this curve here. You can see this little radius here. We're not going to show that on the front view. We'll only see that on the top view, and we'll see our chamfer on the right side view too. But we're not going to show that curve on our front view. And now I'm going to switch to a projection line. So up here, projection line, L space, and then pop up here. I'm going to drag this pretty far up here. Then we'll zoom back in here so you can see it a bit better. Then O, or I'm going to select it here. I'm going to CO for copy. I'm going to copy it here at the end, and I'm just going to paste it. Must add some CO for copy. And then let's copy it there, paste it there, make sure we're getting the correct points, and then right there. Okay, then I'm going to switch back to my object layer here. So once I'm on my object layer, escape, L space, and I'm going to just draw a line straight across here, and I can trim this here. So I have my, let's make sure the line is straight here. So I should have my, turn my object snaps off for a second. Okay, and then I can draw that line straight across. Then I can trim that, TR for trim. And trim those edges off there. Okay, then this is my top view. So I know my top here is 1 in width or 1 in depth. So L space, and I'll turn my ortho modes back on. So I can make sure I click on these ends here, and then I'm going to drag and straight up 1. Okay, sorry for the lag when I'm trying to record things in this laptop. It lags sometimes here. Then I'm going to drag over here, and I want to make sure I want to drag straight. So I'm going to drag off the end here, and I'm just going to connect this up here. And then I can trim that end off there. So like this here, TR for trim, come up, trim. And then I can trim these ends off here. If I click and drag, I can cross, C for crossing, and I can go over here, specify first corner, and just drag. You can see here, I get these and these here. Gone, escape. So I trim that up to make it look a little bit neater. So there's my general top view. One other thing I can add on here right now is my other lines. So I have a line going down the center here, and another one right here, representing that angle. And that was too far, so let's branch right there. Cool. And then I'm just going to erase these here. So let's see if this allows me to click escape here. Just select these lines and delete. Goodbye. Okay, then just to clean things up here, I'm going to go to the right side now, and I'm going to do my projection lines again. So L space here, and I'm going to project over from this corner here pretty far, and I can just do opt, copy this, C open copy, and simply block on there. Let's put it here, and let's put one more there. Cool. All right, now I'm going to switch back to my object line. I'm going to draw the basic shape of the right side. So I have 2 different layers in that right side I can see. My height, I know, is 1.25. My projection lines help me out with that. But I can just draw a straight line up and down. And then I'm going to trim these edges here. Trim. Trim. And then I'm going to go over here. L space. Okay, I'm going to go over to the right side. Go over 1. That's the distance there. 1, enter. And then straight back down. And let's see if I can snap on this end here, and it's not going to, doesn't quite want to do it there, so I'll trim that here in a second. And we'll drag over right there. And then GR for trim that edge off there. Cool, and then escape here, draw one more line for our angle. So this represents there, make sure I have the X on there, and snap there. All right, so now I have my general shape of my object. So my front view, I'm going to trim these edges off now. So I can just click and drag across. And one more time here. Click and drag across. Okay, trim all those edges off there. So now I have my general shape of my top view, my front view, and my right side view. Oop, one more edge to trim off here. Just glad I saw that there. All right. So now is center lines. Okay, so we don't have any center marks or our hole going through the center. I'm going to start up here on my top view, and I'll zoom in on here. And if I'm looking over here, I know my diameter is 0.5, all right, and the center is 0.5 over. So what I can do here is I can start with my offset tool, and I'm going to offset by this here. So offset 0.5, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go this way too. Then I'm going to draw a circle in the center, C for circle, and this circle has a diameter again of 0.5. Diameter 0.5, and then I can erase this one, and I can erase this one here. And then I can draw some projection lines, because I want to project down to my front view. So L space here, and then make sure I get on that corner, like so, with my object snaps, just draw it straight down. Whoop, come on down. And then this one again here, I'm going to draw straight down from that corner, make sure I'm snapping out of the right point, and then zooming back in here. Like so. Cool. Now, these lines here, I'm going to draw some other lines. I'm going to draw some hidden lines now, because this is going to represent the sides of the circle, so L space, and I'm going to draw a hidden line from this point, and right down to that point there. And same idea here, I'm going to draw a hidden line. I'm not going to draw that center line yet. You'll see what we're going to do with that in a minute. delete these lines now. So select here, to the left and up, and delete. And now I have those hidden lines right there. Hidden lines are short dashed lines. So if I turn on my layers here, so line weight display, you can see the difference in layers a little bit there. Helps brighten things up. Okay, now, so I have that there, we'll do our right side here in a moment. A couple things else I want to show on my front view and my top view. So we don't have our chamfer yet. So up in the corner here, I'm going to go up to where it says fillet, and we'll start with fillet, since we got to do a fillet over here, a radius 2.5. You can see on my menu line here, or on my command line, R for radius, 0.25. And simply I click here and I click here, and it gives me a radius of 2.5. Then I come up here to my chamfer and zoom in on this area here. The chamfer is going to be 0.3, so it's just an angle. Okay, so distance, and we're going to do 0.3 for the first, and for the second one, we're also going to do 0.3. And then like this here, like that there, and it snaps. Cool. I'm going to show another projection line here. So projection line, I'm going to project down from this point here because that's behind. And I want to show where there's a hidden line on my front view. So I don't see this back corner on my front view. So I want to show a hidden line with that line right there. And then I can erase this line. Okay, we got our radius there. One other thing we want to add on here in a second here is a little mark in the center, but we'll talk about that when we add our center lines here in a moment. On our right side view, I also want to add some more hidden lines on here to show where our circle is, because it's going all the way through. So I'm going to offset again. So offset, and this is going to be by 0.5 to find that center. Okay, that's the center point right there. And then I know my diameter of the hole is 0.5, so half of 0.5 is going to be 0.25. So I'm going to offset by 0.25 on both sides here. Boop. And one right there. And then I can delete this here in the center. It doesn't go all the way through, so I'm going to trim out this here, like that. Trim, delete. And I can select these two lines right here, and these are going to become hidden lines. Cool. All right, now to show our center marks. All right, so to show any center marks that we have, we're going to want to go over to Annotate up in the top here. And this is pretty simple here. It's a really good tool. I'm going to select center mark. And then ask me on my command line, select a circle or arc to add a center mark. So I'm going to select this circle. Bam. And I'm going to select this edge here, because that's my arc. Bam. And then I'm going to add some center lines. So this here. And then select first center line, select second center line, and wow. And then I do it one more time here. Select first, second center line, or first hidden line, and then I get my center line. And then we're going to change those line weights a little bit. So our line weights or line thickness, the spacing. So on my properties menu, so make sure you have your properties open here. And you're going to select this center line here and this center line here. And we're going to come on over here to our properties and line type scale. You'll have to make this smaller, but I like to do it by half. So 0.5, enter. And you can see what this does here. If I escape now, you can see the edges. Okay, now it's actually showing a true center line. Small dash in the center, and then bigger dashes going by. Sometimes you will have to go even smaller than 0.5. It's just dependent on what you do. Ultimately, this tool makes things way easier than trying to draw the lines yourself, which you used to have to do. Now with this here, I don't want to show these long edges here. I want to clean that up a bit. So I'm going to go to properties here, and then down here it says show extension. And I'm going to click no. No extension, like that, to show a radius. Okay, last thing on our right side view, we need to show the edge of that chamfer. So I know that chamfer is, I believe it was 0.3. So I'm going to offset the side here by 0.3. And like this here. And then I'm going to change this to a hidden line again. Hidden line. And then I'm going to trim that top part off here. Get rid of that. Clean it up. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that because that needs to go all the way through the object. And our hole does not go all the way through the object. Sweet. There we go. Now I'm going to move this to the center, so I'm going to select it all. And then move to the center. You move it over. I'm going to turn off my ortho mode real fast here so I can move this here a bit better. And object snap in ortho mode. So I'm going to try and just center out the best I can. And that looks good right there. Cool. And then you're going to come on over here to your layout. Okay, this gives you a good view of it. And again, you can turn your line weights off if you want to see it a bit better. You need to put your logo in here. So I can delete this here. And you need to find your logo assignment. Hopefully you still have a copy of it somewhere there. If you don't, you'll have to be creating a new logo for this assignment and the next couple of assignments here. But I'm going to copy this all like so. Control C, and then I'm going to come on over here. And sometimes I got to change a few things. Ultimately, I could update my logo. But Control V pops up in red or color, but I am going to get as close as I can right down here in the corner and just make sure things get lined up pretty good, like so. And then I'm going to move over my design works too, just to make that look good here. We are going to make our scale should be 1:1 for this drawing. So scale's already there. You're going to put your name down here, first letter, period. So like this here. So I'll do it for you so you can see. A capital B, Gannon. And then our dates right here. These dates here. This is going to be 02, and today's date is 22/20/22. And then I'm going to put this as drawing number 1. Your second drawing is coming up. Drawing number 1 like that. And there we go. Now make sure, I would make sure before you print here, or before you make this a PDF, you're going to go down to print. And I want you to preview it, okay? Make sure it looks correct here. So you don't have to change anything on here. It should already be set up for you. And just preview it, make sure this looks good before you send it off to Canvas for a grade. So that looks good for me. And then I can close out here or go up to print and make it a PDF. And make sure you save it in the correct spot. And again, I'm organizing all my files. So they're getting all organized right now. Cool. All right. That is it for this video.